Good morning, beautiful people. How are you? How are you today? Oh my goodness. It feels so good to be back. It feels so good to be connected with you again. Ileana, again, thank you for the beautiful introduction. Thank you for getting everybody warmed up in the chat here today. Feels good. Feels good to be here with you this morning. These are my favorite days. I love Q&A days because we get to break out of the structure a little bit and we get to just kind of free flow and be creative, be exploratory, and curiosity is one of my highest values. So being able to ask questions, a day specifically for questions is like huge. It's huge. I love it. I love the energy. Frequency of a Q&A day is like right in alignment with me. So first, good morning, everybody. I see everybody is tapping in from all around the world. Um, Love to the global community the Mind Valley has collected here this morning. I am I am in San Francisco once again this morning. Much love to everybody around the world. I hope you slept well or you have had a beautiful day so far. Thank you for beginning your day or ending your day with me. It means a lot. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and I appreciate that. All right. So today we're doing a Q&A. 2 days ago on Wednesday, the 27th, together we built a custom GPT. And we built a couple custom GPTs. We built one for, we looked through one for social media and Agent GPT. We also built one for fitness. Fitness is one of those things that's applicable to anybody. All of us have physical bodies. And if we are able, we move them. So it was just one of those universal things that I decided to use to showcase how a custom GPT could be used. But there are so many use cases for custom GPTs. And there's also some other features on ChatGPT, like projects, that have similar use cases, but there are specific differences. And I also saw some people asking about those differences too. So, what I would like to do today is look at some different use cases for custom GPTs and actually build those out together with you based on your use cases and based on the processes that go on in your life and in your work, right? And then through the process of building together, we will be answering the questions, right? So what I would like to do is first understand people's questions, listen to them, hear you out, and then answer the questions by building, right? So we're going to answer your questions through the process of building, of creating, right? And that is like my favorite way to learn. It's my favorite way to teach, and it is my favorite way to answer questions and figure out what I don't know, so that I know what questions to ask. Right? Is through the process of actually creating. Okay. Is everybody on board with this? Is everybody right here vibing with me? You think that this is a good way of approaching this class? I am here on your behalf. I'm here for you. So if there's any other approach that you would like me to take, please let me know. And I am here to be of service and to teach and to create with you. Okay. If there's any other aspect of this other than like hands-on, other than this back and forth dialogue, please let me know. But otherwise, this is how I would love to enter into this class. Okay. So, the structure that we're going to do here is we'll have Ileana up on the screen and she's going to kind of go through the questions and shout some things out for me that she sees that are repetitive or sees that you guys really want to learn. And then I will take that and we will go into ChatGPT and walk through it. Okay. Um, before we dive into questions, if I share my screen, Ileana, is it gonna take us both off of the screen? Like, am I able to share my screen right now
Yeah,
before
you can
we
share it
tap
and we'll
in?
stay on. Yep.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. So I just want to go through uh, a refresher of what we learned last week. And actually, I'm going to put this on you, chat, so that you guys can you can actively learn here. Okay. So first, what is the prompt structure that I gave you 2 days ago? So somebody throw in the chat, what is the prompt structure that I gave you last week? Um, yes, the first part is role. Yes, task. Okay. Okay. I see. Okay. Role, task, context, reasoning, and output. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody. When I see the copy and paste too, when I see that that's up, I know that you have your information out, or you're just incredibly intelligent and you knew this, or both. You're probably both incredibly intelligent and you have the information out, which is amazing. This is exactly what we need today. Yo, shout out, wow. Shout out Evelina for throwing it in the chat. Shout out Jessica Nolan. Thank you. Thank you. Flavia, thank you. Juan, good looking. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Jason, thank you. Yes, let's go. Let's go. Okay, and Owana had the role template put up too, which is amazing. Yes. So the template that we looked at last week, I'm sorry, this week, time just flies when you're working hard, you know? What we looked at this past week was a prompt structure for prompting ChatGPT 5. Now, you guys have learned some other templates in the past, in past classes, and then I gave you a new tool, and that is these five variables for prompting with ChatGPT 5, and really with any of the large language models. However, each large language model is built by a different team and it's a different model. So you're going to need to approach them in different ways, right? This one specifically, because we're using ChatGPT 5, uh, the five variables is role, task, context, reasoning, and then output. And then you're able to kind of, shorten some, lengthen others, take some completely away, add some extras in, right? And really play with these variables until you get the output that you want. And then once you get the output that you want, then you're able to take that prompt and put it into the background of your custom GPT. And this is how you can start to automate repetitive prompts, right? So custom GPTs are really great for automating repetitive prompts and automating repetitive prompts with access to very specific information, right? So I see people throwing it in the chat right now, good looking, beautiful people, but tell me one more time, who's the rapper that I told you to associate with the custom GPT instructions in the background? Yeah, let's go. You can have whatever you like. Yeah, I see. TI, exactly. TI. And TI stands for trigger instructions. Boom. Trigger and instructions. Absolutely. And this trigger is associated with that first, what we call as a conversation starter. And this conversation starter is literally just a button that pops up within the chat dialog, and you can hit it, and it will trigger all of the instructions that you gave it in the back end. In this way, we turn long, big, complex prompts and a bunch of reasoning steps and access to certain information into a click of a button. And this is a game changer, right? Because um, a lot of these steps, using AI is already a massive leap in time savings and in efficiency, right? But versus you now having a custom GPT versus somebody who does not and is still typing every single thing in, you are saving, 5, 10, 30 seconds, a minute at a time every time you do this. But it seems like a tiny change right now, but you stack that up over a week, a month, a year, right? You're actually saving yourselves days of time over time, right? You're saving yourself efficiency, you are creating efficiency that compounds and stacks upon one another. So I really hope that you have found it to be, valuable as a at least a time saver, right? It can also be valuable as a product and as a revenue stream too, if you understand how to create a custom GPT that's going to be valuable to your audience and not just an internal tool, right? And what can be internal for you could also be valuable for somebody else's internal tool as well. So there are so many use cases for these custom GPTs, and I would really like to take some time today, now that we have done our refresh and review, and you guys understand what's going on, and I know that you are engaged. like to take some time to answer questions and then use our building process as a method of answering these questions, right? Being hands-on. So if everybody's ready for that, please throw a thumbs up in the chat, and I'm ready to get started.
Thank you for that refresh, Dominic.
Mhm.
All right. So the first question, or question, should I say, there's quite a lot of question on what happens when the context changes. So Olena's question, for example, is let's say your weight changes or your goal changes, taking your fitness ChatGPT agent into as an example from Wednesday's class. Is it possible for the GPT to learn with you, or do you have to manually modify the instructions every time? Another question, great question from Elena, is also related to that. She's saying, I'd like to know how to add variables that can be tied to different conversation starters. So from the class for the fitness one, it was tied to a specific weight. Can we get the AI to prompt us? For example, can we get the AI to ask first, what is your weight? Saying, for example, if we want to sell this agent later, this assistant later.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, cool. So let me verbally re-ask the question so I know I'm on the right page, and then we will go in and actually solve this and do it together. So the question is, um, within the prompt structure, right? We have role, task, context, reasoning, and output. This third variable right here, context, are we able to change the context? How can we change the context depending on so that the AI understands what's going on with a moving variable in our lives or in our work, right? So for instance, if we have a fitness GPT, a custom GPT that's built for fitness, how are we able to then um, let's say our weight changes, or let's say the amount of steps we took that day changes, or what we ate that day changes, right? The problem is that when that's a stuck variable, right? I am 185 pounds, and that's a stuck variable in the prompt. When you go in there the next time, it's always going to think that. But that's a moving metric, right? It's a variable that is changing. It's not constant. So how do you prompt around variable context rather than a constant context, right? I believe that this is the question, so I would like to go in here and actually work on this with you, okay? Because I have a cool answer for that. That is going to there we go. Have a cool answer for that. That is going to unlock some more mental space for you. So let's go in here and dive in. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you exactly how to prompt the instructions of the custom GPT so that it allows and responds to a variable context, right? Not a context that is constant. Okay, so first, I just need everybody to give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. All right, we're just going to go over a few production things here. Okay, I see a bunch of thumbs up. Thank you. You can see the screen. It should be the prompt structure for GPT here. It should be the class notes that I shared with all of you, right? Okay, beautiful. You can also hear me. Yes? My voice is loud and clear. Yes? Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And also, are you able to see me? Do you have your screen set up in a way where you can see me um, at the same time? Yes? Okay. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. One more time, I'm going to share, just in case you guys don't have it, I'm going to share this with you one more time. Copy the link, and I'm going to share this with you so you have it one more time. Okay. Can you see the ChatGPT screen? People said to zoom in. I hope that you can see that. I'm gonna type some things. Can you see the text? Okay. All right, cool. Cool. We are production ready to go then. You can hear me, you can see me, and you can see the screen. This is beautiful. All right. So let's dive in. So I'm going to use the Fitness GPT example here uh, in order for us to answer this question. So right now, if I were to ask it like, how much do I weigh? probably going to look up, I weigh 185 pounds, right? Because that's the number I gave earlier when describing the context. Okay. And then if I go back here, if I click into the top where the model selector typically is where you can select your custom GPT. And I can click that and have the drop down so I can edit the GPT. Okay. So I'm going to dive in here and let's look at our prompt. So right here in the instructions, I'm going to open it up wider using this expand button right here in the bottom right hand side of the instructions box. It'll open it up so I can see it in full screen. Now, this looks a little overwhelming. There's a lot of text. So I'm going to just like push this down just so we're focused on what we need to see here. And that is this text. All right. I might even zoom in a little bit so we can just focus on what's important. So we have a few sections here. First, we have the trigger. That's the T. And then we have the instructions. That's the I. And then we have our task, context, reasoning, and output. Each variable of our prompt structure other than um, our role, because our role is actually up here at the top. It's constant across all the prompts. Okay. So now here we have task, context, reasoning, and output. This context here is where we have our variables. Now this right here is constant, right? It looks constant. I am 185 pounds. That's okay. However, this would change over time. So how would I set this up so that the AI is actually responding to my changes? I'll show you one way that I do this, and then we can actually go about multiple ways if you'd like. You know, did we can look at different ways of approaching this. Okay, creatively, this is what I like to do. So I actually say, I will take this part away. I'll just say, what is actually constant about my information here? I work out in a full gym with equipment. That is true. I like circuit training. That's true. That's good, really going to be like constant throughout this. I have 30 minutes to exercise. That's pretty much true. I mean, if that's how much time I want to set for my workouts each day, then that can be a constant, right? This is my goal. My goal is constant, and I always wanted to look at this. However, something I would like to do is say, um, something I would like it to be like a variable would be like my weight. So this is here, like variables might be my weight. It might be what else? Like how many steps I took. Uh, my I don't know, my resting heart rate over the past few days. I don't know. My caloric intake. Yeah. Right. Okay. These are things that change day by day. Okay. So yes, time could be variable. However, I don't want it to be now. Right. Right. It could be sleep, all of that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I will say today is a 60-minute class. Okay. Today is a 60-minute class. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'll say adjust the workout based on the variables that you notice within the screenshot that's uploaded. Mhm. And then up here at the task, I'll say, actually, during the trigger, I'll say, when a user, let's say, uploads a screenshot, and then it goes into the instructions. All right, so check out what I'm doing now. So let's say I have my phone here, and I'm gonna prop my phone up so that I can use it. Let's say I'm gonna go into my health app here, and now I'm gonna click on show all of my health data. So now what I'm gonna do is I'll just screenshot basically. Let me see here. Okay, so I'm just gonna screenshot my health data, and it looks like this. Yeah, can you see it? Hold on. Can you see that? Kinda. All right. Not so well. That's okay. I'm gonna send it to my computer anyway. The point is that screenshotted it on my phone, and then I want you to see it later. Okay. So what I'll do here is I'll just say, adjust the workout based on the variables that you notice within the screenshot that's uploaded. And then I change the trigger to when a user uploads a screenshot. This gives me now the ability to change the variable and provide more information as it changes to the AI. Now, in a perfect world, what I would love is that my Apple Watch is automatically like sending data to ChatGPT or something like that. Or there was actually an AI within my health app. That's just, it doesn't exist yet. It doesn't exist right now, but I would love to do that. However, in a way to easily be able to access, to easily give, um, uh, in order to easily give information to this AI, this is how I would do it. I did have a Whoop and I did have a ring. It was just I couldn't stick to actually wearing it. But anyway, that is how I would change. That is one way that I would like to change or be able to, um, one way that I would give variable information to AI. Okay, so let's actually try this out and see what happens. So now I would like to, I'm going to view this GPT and let's see what happens when we just, all we do is we upload a screenshot. Okay, so it looked through and now it's giving me a tailored workout based on the information. Does that make sense? So this is a way that we are able to give information that is variable to the AI over time. I actually have a what's it called? I have a scale. I forget the name of the scale, but I have a scale that basically tracks all of my weight and everything into my health data here. So I'm able to then like go and screenshot that. And what is that called? Oh, Withings. Yeah, I have this Withings app. So I'm actually able to um, go in here, check out my weight, do all of that stuff, send it in. Yeah, this is much better right here. This has like my sleep quality, my oxygen, my weight. It has all of that. So it would actually probably give me a better, it would give me a better result if I were to screenshot this. So let me put this in there and then I'll show you what that data looks like. So I'm going to start a new chat with this and let's check it out. And I'll show you the data here too. So this is what this data looks like. I'm giving it like sleep quality, oxygen, my weight, body composition, and then let's see how it responds to having this information now. This is one way that I would give it more information. Okay. So, uh, yes, we can move on. Does this make sense? If not, I will show you another way and we can continue. But does this make sense? Can we move on? Yes? Okay. All right. Beautiful. Okay. You can do this. You can do this for any of it, right? So like this isn't the only use case. I saw somebody in there talking about how they actually how they use this to decide if a report or if an incident is reportable. I saw that in there, right? So you're able to change really any of these variables to say when I upload, right? When I upload an incident report, read it, and then give me the information based on the information that I'm uploading to you, right? So this part right here is basically the answer to your question. How do you change the output based on variable information? It's literally just this part right here. Adjust the, you can just say response based on the variables you notice within the screenshot or the document or the PDF, whatever you upload. If you are uploading something new, um, if you are giving any new information to this custom GPT, that is how you do it. However, I do not necessarily suggest, somebody said this is actually not an elegant way of doing this. I agree. I do not think actually that we should really be using a custom GPT for things that are super variable. And the reason is that because there's not a live stream of information that's going between the AI and you, right? I typically use custom GPTs for information that is constant, that is going to be there and be the same every single time. And I'm using a custom GPT so that I can save time through repetitive tasks, right? Through things that are repetitive, that don't really change much at all. That is why I use custom GPTs. If you want something variable, this is how I do that. This is how I would suggest that you activate a variable prompt using a custom GPT. You have to then provide it with the information that you would like it to use as it changes. The limitation here is that there's not a clear stream of input and output. Okay. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Now let's move on to our next question.
If that's okay, Dominic, I see there's still a follow-up question that's being repeated inside the chat, and that was also part of one of the original questions, which is, so essentially, because of this, there's no like dialogue back and forth. You cannot, or can you ask in the instructions for the assistant to ask you questions?
Yes. Yeah,
Can
so
you
this
do
is
that?
actually one of the
Can you
things
show
that
us
I
how to do
do.
that?
Absolutely.
And
This
that
is
would
one of the
answer some of your questions that are saying, what if we don't have a screenshot? I think this would be a way to do that. So thank you, Dominic.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Everybody should have access to screenshot in some way, on your computer, on your phone. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't have screenshots. You can always upload and add photos and files to a chat. Um, Over here within Agent GPT, if I want to get information, and I do this a lot for when I'm creating a custom GPT for, let's say, a client, what I'll do is within Agent GPT here, this is an example. So right here, when I say brand strategy, if I click, let's see what happens. It asks me a question first. Do we want the short version or the long version of the brand questionnaire? Right. So I can say short. And then it's going to ask me one question at a time, right? What is your handle? Right? Mr. Grateful. And then let's continue. Perfect. What's your name? Dominic. You see this? The prompt that I'm using for this back here, and I will go back here and show you exactly. The prompt that I'm using back here is when a user says brand strategy, just do one step at a time. Don't move ahead. Let them know you'll ask them questions to understand their brand and give them two options. Short takes about 10 minutes, or long, which takes about an hour. If the user says short, then do this. And if the user says long, then do this. And I said, then ask them from the long user questionnaire, right? So here, down here, I have all of this information in the knowledge base here. And then this, I have a short brand questionnaire and a long brand uh, questionnaire. I'm telling it which one to use depending on what the user says to it, right? So down here, if I say long user questionnaire, I can actually open this up and download it. If it wants to download, I can download this and show you what that looks like. But that's exactly how I am having it access or ask me questions based on the information. A beautiful thing about custom GPTs and a really beautiful thing about custom GPTs is that they have access to your other chats. So custom GPTs also have availability to your memory. So they can access your memory. Whereas over here in projects, if you're using a project, it is specifically going to use the um, it is specifically going to prioritize the chats within your project. Whereas with custom GPTs, it will prioritize or it will access all of your memory. Okay, so when people go through and they answer all of these questions, it actually will then retain the information, and you can actually say like, remember this about me. And then this custom GPT will be able to access information across all of your chats. Does this make sense?
Amazing. And that was actually part of my next question, which is a lot of people were asking about that memory. So thank you so much.
Yes.
So the next set of questions basically have to do with what can this assistant or agent access? And you answered one of the questions. I'm just going to go through and list them, and maybe you can give a general or specific answer, but let me know. So, for
Yes.
example, there's questions about is there any way for this assistant to retrieve information from projects? So, I know you mentioned that it retrieves information from your general chat, but from the projects. People also would like to know, for example, Flavia and others would like to know if it can access a website. Um, Joe would like to know, can it actively search and gather fresh information and then provide it in the action button? For example, they say if you're selling on Etsy, can you create an action button so that assistant goes in and finds, for example, the week's highest rated items?
Right.
Evelina and other people are asking about like APIs. Is it possible? What are those use cases? And I'm just going to finish with my favorite anonymous attendee's question. It says, can I build an agent to pay my monthly bills? So can it go into my bank account and pay my bills and subscriptions for me? So that's the next questions. Thank you so much, Dominic.
For sure, for sure. Okay. All right. So let me answer one of these at a time. As I know right now, the chats that you have within your projects do not live and cannot be accessed by memory outside of them. That's what I know so far. Okay. But if that has changed, actually, one of these documentations was changed 3 days ago when I went in there, and I was like, oh, that's actually something that was literally just updated by the company, that I had to switch up and like, teach differently. So let me actually ask and let's see what the most updated information is. The egotistical expert in me wants to think that I know a lot, and the wise sage in me knows that I know nothing. So let's ask ChatGPT and figure out, actually, if that's true, if that is still true or not. So can custom GPTs uh, access chats from within ChatGPT projects? Searching the web. All right, let's actually get a real information. Yes, so I didn't think so. So one of these things, similarly, project chats don't have access to custom GPT logic. Yes, you likewise can't access chat history across all chats inside a project. That's right. I know that. Right. Okay, so one of the limitations here for sure that I definitely know is that, let's say we're using a custom GPT here. One of the main differences between there, and there are like four main differences between custom GPTs and projects. One of them is organization. So this right here, this is an agent GPT. I cannot move this into a project, right? I can take this one and move it into a project. You see how it highlights and lights up as I move it across, because this one right here is just a normal chat. But custom GPT chats cannot be organized at all, because you can't use a custom GPT within a project as of right now. Okay. So because of this, I do not believe that you are able to access, a custom GPT was able to access information from within a chat. I believe that chats within a project um, do not get added to the memory. I believe that there is a setting for that. If we edit the project here, maybe, yeah, project only. Project can only access its own memories. Memories are hidden from outside chats. You see that? Its memories are hidden from outside chat. So if I do something within a project, it is not going to show up in a custom GPT. Okay. So that question is answered right there. Now let's go down here to one of these, and I'm going to show you how to search the web. Okay. So let's just create another custom GPT really quick. Somebody um, throw out a task that you want to get done with a custom GPT. Just like throw it out there and I'll make it. Social media planner. Okay, I saw social media planner. That's great. Now, what industry are you in within social media? I'm seeing a lot of like coaching and stuff. Okay, can you give me something more specific? Like not just coaching, but like what specifically are you coaching? Okay, I see interior design. Okay, all right. Interior design was like the first one that I really saw pop up. Okay, so let's create a social media planner for a interior design company. What I'm going to do is come here to or to GPTs. I'll come up here to create. I'll say interior design social media planner, just so we know exactly what this is. Okay, plans content. Its role. You are an expert interior design and social media researcher. You're highly skilled in planning. You reason step by step. And when you are uncertain, you simply say that you are uncertain and don't know. Okay, great. So that's our role. And we are setting up our role through the context that we were using before, right? Through the template that I taught you last Wednesday, this Wednesday. Okay, so here in the trigger, I'm gonna say when I say new content, and then in the instruction here, let's do this. So right here, the step one of the um, our step one is going to be, and let's look back. So we have, let's refresh ourselves here. This is how we do our prompts. So we already did our role. Then we have task, context, reasoning, and output. Okay. So our task here is to create a social media um, content, create a piece of social media content, right? This context here. For context, the question is can I have the custom GPT go out and search the web and get fresh information? That's what we can do here. If we don't actually have the context that's input, what I'm going to do is here, and I'll zoom it in. What I'll do is I'll say, search the web to find the most recent interior design trend that is highly controversial amongst, amongst designers, right? And then I'll say after this is part of the reasoning part, after searching the web, give me three of the top topics, then ask me which one I want to use. Okay. And then four is this output. Um, give it to me in four simple sentences. Right. And then I'm going to scroll down and make sure under capabilities, web search is turned on. You see that? Okay. So right here, let me review this one more time. You asked if a custom GPT can search the web to gather fresh information. Yes, it can. And we can actually trigger it to do that. So when we say new content, under context here, we want it to search the web to find the most recent whatever. And then down here, we make sure that under capabilities, web search is turned on. Okay. So I'll hit create and then we'll try it. So let's view the GPT and then let's find out. Oh, whoops. I actually did not create the I didn't create the conversation starter here. Say new content. Okay. So let's hit new content. The first thing it should do, search the web. You see that? Do you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? Did this answer your question to the person who was asking if you are able to search the web for information or not? Yes? Okay. All right, cool. Beautiful, beautiful. Another thing you could do too, technically, you know what I'm saying? If you wanted to like, if I wanted to be in like research, I could have like a research GPT, and I could even say like, you know, I could even have like a trigger for like each topic that I want to be able to like research on a daily basis, right? So I could have trigger one is like social media, the other one is, health, the other one is, neurobiology, and the other one is, AI. I'm just like, and I could just say like, instructions. This we can have fun and like see if this works, okay? We're like, yo, instructions. Whenever I say any of the above words, do intense research on the most recent breakthroughs in that field. Give me the breakthrough as one headline, uh, written as a hook with a paragraph on its uh, key details. Okay, I can just have social media. What was the other one? Health, neurobiology, and then I had one for AI. Okay, great. So now I can just now every single day, whenever I need to do information or whenever I need to do research, I can just pop in here and I can click on one of these and it's going to search the web and then give me information. Found it through Science Daily, right? This is, you know what I'm saying? So yes, you absolutely can figure out, you absolutely can search the web and automate this throughout the week. Um, Yes, and you can also, if you want to, somebody say, can you show us how to automate this so it sends us the new research once a week? Yeah, you can do that if you just come here to new chat and you say, um, every week at, every week on Monday at 10 a.m., research the latest topics in AI and give me a summary. And it'll create a schedule. And then it'll actually do this. So now, like down here, for example, which one do I have? I have daily AI news update. This is one of my scheduled automations that I've done that way. So now, like every single day, it gives me the information, right? So this was 3 days ago. This one will be 4 days ago. That one's 5 days ago. And you see, I have no prompts. I didn't prompt this at all. It gives it to me every single day, right? So that is how I automate research, and that is how you can search the web with ChatGPT, custom GPTs. Okay. How did I do that again? I literally just went in there and I asked it to give me, look, I said every week at a certain time, research the latest topics, whatever. It says done, and I'll send you a concise summary around that time, my time with the keynotes, and I can go to my schedules here and we can see each one of the scheduled things that I have. But that is not a custom GPT. That is just a scheduled automation that I can do. Okay. What were the other questions, Ileana? Sorry, I remember those two.
The other questions, it's the students want to know how far this assistant can go in going into, so I know it searches the web. For example, I assume that it can go into a specific website. I see the students in the chat are also asking about, what about email? Can it get it sent this, for example, if you, this weekly update, can it get it sent to your email? Can it go into your email? What happens if it's a website that requires a login with a password? Can it still go into that website and retrieve information from there?
Yeah. Okay. So, um, custom GPTs are not necessarily agents. So these questions about, is it able to use an API? There is an API. You can create actions within custom GPTs. However, in my experience, they're not very reliable. What I like to use is ChatGPT agent, and an agent is basically an LLM that is then able to go out and use different websites and use different applications. But you don't need a custom GPT for that. So I can actually come here to files and more, and I can go here to agent mode. And an agent is able to then go out and do things on my behalf. It's able to create spreadsheets, create presentations, and take actions on my behalf, right? Um, so it can go and review and prioritize, my inbox. It can go into my email. It can send emails. It can go in and fill in passwords. When I was in Amsterdam in MVU, I showed how the AI agent was able to actually book me a hair appointment, right? So I just said like, hey, look up a barber in Paris near me, and I needed them to be a black person that knows how to fade my hair. They have like over 5 stars, whatever, and then they go in there and they, what I'm saying, it went and found the website, booked it for the time, sent me the email, all of that. A custom GPT is not an agent, right? A custom GPT is exactly what you're seeing here, right? So it is a custom GPT is automated prompts. Okay. A custom GPT is an automated prompt. Um, it literally is like, when I do this, do this. This is what a custom GPT is, really. When I do this, you do this. This is what a custom GPT is. Okay. Um, you can create actions. I just I taught it one time, and it it didn't give a reliable enough results for me to like give for me to put it in your toolbox. Okay, it just isn't as reliable, and I don't want to teach you something just for the sake of doing it, right? What I That was before they came out with agents. Now with agents, it actually is able to go out there and do that stuff. Okay, so within agent mode, for example, um, let's just say here, within agent, I'll say, what is a task that you need your AI to be able to do outside of what a custom GPT is? Whoever is asking about like APIs, and if it's able to go out and put in like passwords and stuff, can you talk to me about what's going on? Okay, so I saw somebody say post on IG. It is not going to post on IG for you, because it will, but IG will flag you because it is an AI, and Instagram has a really strong detection for AI. And if it knows that AI is out there using your account, it will lock your account. So I would suggest not doing that. Okay. Somebody is saying interact with my WhatsApp, emailing the news update, create invoices and agreements or slides. Ileana, I think we need a whole day on agents.
Yes,
I think
I have let the students know. Thank
I
you.
think I need a full day for agents, okay? Because
Exactly. I think we won't go into that today because of time, and also because down the line in October, I believe, you guys will have classes on agents. But
yeah,
having
okay.
said that, Dominic, could I ask you then to just make it clear to the students, what is the assistant for, and when would you use that, um, compared to, for example, a normal chat, a project, the assistant, and then an agent? So why would you be using? I know you mentioned it a bit just now, but just like really clearly let us know, when would you use these assistants and not agents?
Okay, yes, I can tell you that. So, let me X out of this so you can see. All right. So I'm going to use a new chat, a fresh new chat with nothing. Whenever I want this chat to be able to access information across any of my chats, any of my memories. Okay. I have an open ended question that needs to access any of my memories. Okay. I'm going to use a project when I need to keep things organized and I want information and I want the chats that I have to only access chats within that project. Okay. So if I'm working on Mindvalley stuff and I only want it to be in here, right? So if I'm like teaching a class or I'm giving a talk, I have all of my basically the legal documents and my past talks and all of that stuff in here in the files. When I want a chat to only access information within an organized set of chats, I will use a project. When I have a very specific uh, and repetitive prompt that I want to be able to use over and over and over again, then I will use a custom GPT, right? So I use one of these custom GPTs when I have a prompt that I want to repeat consistently. That's going to be the same every single time. Every single time I want a full body workout or I want a quick lift or whatever, I don't want to have to tell it, I'm this weight, this is my goal, this is what I want to work out. I don't want to have to say that every single time. Um, so I will, Alberto, can you communicate with me a little bit? What am I have the option of both in a project. Please clarify that. Communicate with me what you mean. So over here within within a custom GPT, I am then able to have a repetitive prompt that is posted all the time, right? It will give me a response based on a very repetitive prompt that I'm using. I will use an agent when I need the ChatGPT to use a tool or a website outside of ChatGPT. So if I need the ChatGPT not just to read information from the internet, but to actually go out there and use different websites, then I will use an agent. Okay. Did that make it clear?
That made it really clear. Thank you so
Okay.
much. That was perfect. Thank you,
Okay.
Dominic. Very helpful,
Yes.
says Simone, and I agree. So let's go on. Is that okay with you if we go on to the next sort of set of
Yeah.
questions?
By the way, by the way, there is nothing within a ChatGPT that's called an assistant right now. So that's
Okay.
like, I know it's like vocabulary that we like to use because these tools assist us with things, but there's if if I'm talking to you about specific features within ChatGPT, there's nothing that's like named an assistant within here. So I have agents, I have custom GPTs, I have projects, um, but I don't necessarily have an assistant in here. So when you say assistant, if anybody says assistant to me, and just clarify if you mean a custom GPT, if you mean an agent, so that I'm able to like answer your question, accurately.
Got it. I
Yeah,
agree. And I will ask the people Mindvalley team in charge of the lessons to change also the lesson title because we have been calling assistants custom
yeah,
GPTs, which is what you've been teaching
yeah,
today and Wednesday. So thank you for
yeah.
that.
Yeah, no worries. There actually are so Claude here. Claude also has their version of custom GPTs, and it's called projects. So I guess this is more their version of a project, right? Which has the same thing. If you make a new project here, you can also input, right? So if I just put, Agent GPT, um, creating content, right? Within here, you can also input new information, you can input instructions, and you can input files, right? Just like a custom GPT. Gemini has their version. It's called Gems, and you can name it, give it the instructions, add files of knowledge, and then work with it on the preview on the side. So if you're saying like, I totally understand why Mindvalley said assistants, it's because assistants can be kind of the umbrella term for custom GPTs and projects that you're using across many AI platforms. But if I'm using ChatGPT specifically, there are custom GPTs and then there's agents, right?
Thank you so much. That's really helpful. And also to make sure that, we don't go in and search for an assistant because there isn't, like you said, a
Yeah,
name for
yeah,
that inside ChatGPT. So thank you so much.
yes.
Are you ready? I think we have time for one more set of questions. We have 3 minutes. Maybe I can choose one set of questions that's fast, quick to answer. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's get it.
Okay, thank you. So there's a lot of people asking about different roles. So how many roles can you give? And can you give it more than one skill? I know we've been looking at, fitness trainers specifically or
Yeah.
specific things. So Veronique is also asking, can you overlay two different custom GPTs? So a health coach, but also specializing in hormones, for example. And again, Leslie, how many expert roles can you give it? So could you
Right,
continue,
right,
please? Yes.
right. So you can always niche down, right? So uh, let me actually like um I don't know if you need to see my face for this. Okay, so you can always niche down, right? So you can say like if you're making a health coach, you can always niche down into okay, health, you're into you could branch this off into, you know, uh, fitness, nutrition, sleep, right? Whatever it is. So now I can go down into sleep. Okay, great. Now what branch do you want to branch off into sleep and like niche that down? Okay, that's then you have circadian rhythms, right? Um, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm a bed sheets designer to specialize in circadian rhythms, right? Right? It's like you can always niche that down, and that's great. However, if you want one that's like great at health and um great at musical composition and great at uh writing RFPs, that's not going to work. It's going to create more hallucinations and um, it's going to reduce the accuracy of the responses. Within the study that I gave you here, you can actually read about this in this study that I gave you by Vanderbilt. And what happens is that when you give it too many, a multi-expert prompt can increase hallucinations. That's what they found within this. So they prompted 4,000. They prompted with 4,000 different styles of experts, asked it different questions, and what ended up happening is that when they prompted it with multiple expert prompts, it increased the hallucinations. So to get around that, you can create one for your RFPs, one for your fitness, whatever. And then whenever you're in a normal chat here, you can just shout it out, right? So you can hit shift 2 to hit the at, and then you can reach out to any one of these that you want whenever you need the information, right? So I can come here to research GPT and I can put in health, right? It's going to search the web. Great. Really cool. Okay. And then I can come here and hit at, and then I'll come here to, fitness GPT, and then I'll click like full workout and say, but read the news above and tailor it to that. Right now, it's looking at my fitness GPT. I'll design your 30-minute full body circuit workout, combining the two layers, the news and this. Does that make sense? So it's two different experts, but I can have them work together. However, if I try to combine them into one custom GPT, it can increase hallucinations. So to decrease hallucinations, to have superior um, accuracy and specialization, but to also have them work together, I'll create two separate ones and then just add them whenever I need it. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you
Okay.
so much, Dominic. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. I want to say thank you so much for your patience, for your very, very clear explanations, for
Of course.
also letting me know things that need to be like more clear in terms of vocabulary. So I really want to thank you for that. I'll take it on moving forward in all the classes. So that really helped me out as well.
Yes,
Thank
of
you,
course, of
Dominic.
course. Are there any other pressing questions? Is there one more that I can answer for anybody,
Well,
or do you have to
I
move
can
on?
choose a follow-up from this because we did get a lot of, I think you've already answered it, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So what if I am not an expert? I want it to act, I want it to be an expert, but what if I'm not an expert in that and I want the custom ChatGPT to act as an expert? Would I then ask it to research on the web to become that expert?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would definitely always be always try to get as much current information from reliable sources as possible, right? And we always have to understand these models are going to hallucinate. These models are going to um, these models are going to hallucinate, right? What we can do to try to reduce hallucinations is by researching the internet for the most recent information from a reliable source, right? So, if you want to ask it to be an expert, I would definitely just use the role template that I provided in the document here. If you come here, you are an expert in, ask one very specific domain, specific task that's relevant, or specific skill that's relevant to the tasks that you want it to do. And then that is how I would do that. I'm also seeing a lot of people asking about monetization. Here's
Yes.
Here's one really quick and easy way that I would monetize this, just based on like, if this is how I would do it. And I know everything looks like a nail to a hammer, but I'm like in social media, right? So what I would do is I'd probably come here to something like Stan. Um, and Stan has these a bit like Stan. Are you guys familiar with Stan? No, yes, no, 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 no. Okay. Stan is basically like one of those like link in bio apps. I'm not sure if I have an account or if I'm even paying for it. Let's see. I might still be paying for it. I don't currently use it because I have my own website right now, but let's see if I have one. Okay, it looks like I do have a Mr. Grateful. All right, cool. So what I can do here is I can add a product. Let's see if this still works. I might be lying. All right. So let's see, a digital product, PDF, guides, templates. Okay. So here's what I do. I'll come here to like PDF, get my template for this price, whatever, right? So I'll say, get my custom GPT now. Um, and then the subtitle will be like um idea to business plan in uh 30 minutes. Okay. And then I'll just say like buy the AI. All right. And then I think what I'll be able to do here is if I hit next, um, it's a AI that helps you build a business in 30 minutes based on your idea. Hopefully it'll generate something that's worthwhile. Okay, I can set the price here. So this is $10,000 for you to use. All right, great. So what I'll do is if I upload the digital product here, what I have in here, maybe I'll go to upload documents. Can you see the screen of me like trying to select the file? Can you
No,
see like my finder?
no.
No? Okay. Let me show you this. Hold on. I will change the screen that you can see so you can see exactly how I do this. All right. If you see anything confidential or nefarious, it stays between us. All right, so I'll come here to Grateful Labs. Probably go to GP. It's either in my GPTs or my website. Let's go to website first and check it out. Yeah, digital files. Okay. So this right here is like, this is one of them. So I made this GPT here. Let me now share this other screen. So this is the PDF right here that I created. Can you see that? So it's like you've unlocked the business GPT, whatever. And then right here, I basically created the link. So like within that button right there, if I click on that, that's that's the link, right? So then I just take that PDF. Let me go back to Safari here. I just take that PDF. Oh yeah, upgrade to unlock. Okay. So I guess I don't. So I can upload, and then I can actually find that file. So then when anybody needs to, let's go to website, GPTs, boom, here we are. So now that allows me to then sell the link to that. So people can just go in here, download, and then they'll be able to, this is what it looks like. So it'll be like buy the AI idea to business plan or whatever. So I put the link into a PDF. That's how I do it. I put the link to the chat GPT or to the custom GPT in the PDF. So I will come here to chat GPT. Let's say we built this research GPT. I want to sell that. I'll come here, drop it down, go to edit the GPT, come up here in the top right and go to share. I'll change it to anyone with a link can chat, and then I'll copy the link. And then I use that link to then input it into a PDF. And it would look something like this. I'd probably go to like Keynote, or you could literally even, if you wanted to and keep it like super easy, you could just go to like Google Docs and be like, thanks for your purchase. If I'm doing like super MVP here, thanks for your purchase. I put the link, drop the link right there, and then file, download that as a PDF. You can always make this more beautiful if you'd like, right? And then I'd come back here to Stan, and then I would change the um, where is it? Oh, then I would change the file right here, upload. I would change the file to that PDF, so then people are able to purchase it, right? So this right here is stand.store. That is one way that I would execute that. There are so many creative ways to monetize this if you really want to. There's a lot of creative ways to do that. Um, but that's just like one of the ways, just so I can open up your mind, just so you can see one of the paths to like turning that into a product. You can. You could also just do it for free, right? And add it as part of your offer, right? So let's say instead you were like, hey, my consultations are $1,000 an hour, but if you want to just talk to my AI, you can go to my custom GPT for free. Here's the link, and and you can just put that link right there in the chat, right, for free. So now you can go in there, click that link, and then people can go in there and chat and talk to the AI on your behalf. And then what if just like throwing this out there, what if like within your chat, like within your GPT, you said like, customer GPT, whatever. If you said like when a customer asks you about my about when a customer asks you about how to build a business, you direct them to gratefullabs.com and give them the link so that they can uh, buy our product. Don't be pushy, but encourage them. Right. And I just say, like, your job is to talk to inquiring customers about what I offer. Stick to my brand voice. Just as a just as like a simple example, right? Could do this, create that. I can view it. And I'm like, hello, I'm interested in Mr. Grateful. You see that? Now it'll give me the link that I can click and, go to the website. Right. So there's just so many ways. There's so many ways. Like 90 minutes, 60 minutes is not enough time. I know. I know. And I know you all have very individual questions, but I hope that by seeing this, it opens up your mind so you can understand like some different ways to use this for your business. Okay.
Dominic, you are amazing. Thank you so much. I saw a comment, I think it was from Vianney in the chat saying you go the extra mile. And I completely agree. I had seen the monetizing question. I thought, okay, I'll just save it for another class. And you went in there and you were so generous with your knowledge and with your time. And a million thank you to you so much. And
Yes.
I'm happy to say this is not the last time we will be seeing you on this mastery. So we will see you again. But until then, have an amazing time, Dominic. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, you're welcome. Thank you so much. I will be seeing you guys for image generation, video generation, and then some more pending classes, depending on the advancements of AI throughout the process of our classes. So, yo, everybody, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, beautiful rest of your night. If you're just starting out, may your day be blessed. May you be healthy and safe. If you're going to sleep now, sweet dreams. I'll catch you guys in a few weeks. Peace.